Hello, it's me, the man who does things, and to all you who think I'm a text-to-speech program, you're wrong. I'm something much worse. But no one asked me to do this, so I wanted to do it. The hallways of your local cinema sometimes feel like an art gallery, and at times, weirdly, like an Overlook hotel hallway. But besides that, they're galleries of upcoming features that we don't really judge as much as we do with the trailer whether we want to see them or not. I always get more joy looking at these than watching these. They're so endearing and everyone remembers the good ones. And everyone forgets about the forgettable ones, for good or ill. But I want to appreciate them today, even though I don't know the general belief of what's over or underrated. But let's take a stab at it. This is whatever the title is. New York Stories. Yeah, I'm the kind of guy who likes anthology movies. And this was the only one I saw that wasn't horror. It's free tales from New York, brought to you by the most famous storytellers from New York. It's the simplicity that really makes it work. With very little, you know what city it is. Along with free stories showing off the, free stories. They were even nice enough to title and give credit to the directors. It's quaint but stylish. It has a kind of Edward Hopper look to it. The Jaws poster is a treat for the eyes. It's as memorable as the movie, and it's somewhat very similar to the novel cover. And while most people don't care for Jaws 2, I definitely do for the poster. It really isn't bad. Even though we don't see much of the shark, there's something very chilling about it. I guess it's that sunrise or set that reddens the water, almost foreshadowing the bloodletting that's about to happen. It's a great contrast to the calmness of the ocean, and it also gets across the vastness of it, along with that iconic tagline. You probably never heard about this film. It's okay. It's about a deranged feminist named Valerie Solanas who became her own avenging angel when she plots to murder Andy Warhol. You know, because of feminism. You probably not heard of the history too. It is interesting. Just like the poster, the way they put Valerie in one of Warhol's works. Yes, it's definitely eerie, and fitting in with the pop art aesthetic, it makes you think what Andy would have thought of it. King Kong is the father of all monster movies, big or small. There's plenty of posters from the original 33 version, and they all get something right. Kong was the true star of that flick. And while it's not loved, the 76 remake got that right too. It's bloody good looking. Exquisitely drawn, showing off an updated 70s New York. With its modern aircrafts, you can see so much detail. Even though it arguably is false advertising, as Kong's epic climb happened at night. But at least they made him a true thick boy. He also looks like that lumberjack Sasquatch photo. The Madness of King George. Of course, the mark of a good poster is making you want to see the movie even if you don't know any of the context. And that's what The Madness of King George nails, even though it should be called The Madness of King George III. There isn't much to it, it's just an old man running down a hallway frantically in opposition to the orderly stiffness of the redcoats. It's one of the best photograph works out there, and a good snapshot of English history. If you think it's not that spectacular, just hear me out. You gotta trust me. Night of the Living Dead, the zombie classic that acts as a bible for all filmmakers of the undead. And while this was the original poster we're mostly familiar with that began Romero's zombie trilogy, the 70s re-release poster doesn't get enough love. It's well drawn, it's so ghastly and disturbing, but very beautiful. It pulls off the dark, spooky tone of the low-budget indie, and also making things feel much bigger. Lilo and Stitch. It's like Disney's version of E.T. Okay, I'll be frank, I haven't seen this movie. Or its truckload of sequels. That's blasphemous, I know, but the poster definitely sticks out of my mind. It's cool to see Disney advertise their product like this, in a way you haven't seen before, pulling on different characters from the company's filmography. Even though I think Belle and Aladdin look kind of offended than surprised. And it's also like a meme well. You can put anything in that space and it'll work. See? Diabolique. Hitchcock's Psycho owes a lot to this French feast of Gothic noir. This was one of the first posters to go weirdly abstract, as though you don't know what you're watching, until you see the final movie, then you get deeply disturbed, like you should. It's something about the dirty quality and the grime. It's kind of like a visual description of the plot's philosophy. King Hearts and Coronets, without a doubt, one of the best, okay, it is the best, multiple character performance flicks. Before all these movies, Alec Guinness was giving life to this doomed family that was in the way of a young man's fortune. It's funny and disturbing, a real blast. And the poster really does a good job of selling it. I like works that kind of map out or put in order what's going to happen. Kind of like the Village poster, but this cartoonist style is better. Village of the Damned, well, most people are familiar with this dark, underrated gem. To true horror fans, they know that this launched the creepy kid genre. That was eventually killed when everyone wanted to copy The Ring Girl. And while the poster is good, it pales compared to the sequel. It's marvelously unsettling. For those people who collect posters and have them almost as their wallpaper, it's gotta be a real challenge if that thing is facing your bed and you're trying to sleep. With those colors, it makes you think that it might glow in the dark. Conquest of the Pole. This came out capitalizing on man recently reaching the most northern points of our planet. And while it doesn't capture the realism of that voyage, it gave us one of the most creative, imaginative, silent adventures from the early era of cinema. With the design of the Arctic with those crazy flying contraptions, it looks like a real hoot, and you think that this might have inspired a lot to come after. The Angry Red Planet. I don't have a good reason to hail this 50s sci-fi palette of strange and, well, strange. It's not shy of keeping things a mystery. It shows you what kind of monster you're getting, and it delivers. And also that blinding red color. Chicken Run. Out of all the promotion that can sell the idea of a chicken version of The Great Escape, this one is the version I remembered the most. There's something funny but off-putting about what I'm looking at. I guess this is a good representation of what stage fright feels like. Friday the 13th, well, the 8th one in the series. And even though it's just a simple teaser poster, you can't help but give it a weird look but a kind of a smile at the same time. It has everyone at Jason in New York. The Super Mario Bros. Movie is easy to explain the distaste for, but it is difficult to explain why this poster somehow has a lot of charm. I guess it's just the lighting. Or maybe it's just Bob Hoskins playing Mario. Unfriended. Even though it was a waste of an idea, it wasn't a good idea. But this image really does work. And these are the honorable mentions. And these are the honorable mentions of the honorable mentions. Thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, good.